Okay, so here's the hammers I'm making, these wooden hammers. You can see that was one log, or branch really, a little piece of mulberry, and medium density wood. Good characteristics, I would suppose, for this application. Anyway, I made two so far, and the method I've been using is drilling a hole partway through the log with a Forstner bit, and then I just picked the one that's the right size for whatever handle I have. And this handle actually is from a piano leg, and I just rounded it out and put it in here, and then secured it with one blue Tapcon. I'm kind of using concrete. So the Forstner bit goes most of the way through, but I didn't drill all the way through so I could fasten it snug with that Tapcon. Now this one I've got left to do, the first thing we need to do is find a handle for it. So I brought a couple candidates over. That first one, that's a piece of locust. It's fresh, and it's quite a long piece, so I've got plenty of size to make any kind of length handle I want to, up to impossible to use. And then what I do is I match the size to the Forstner bit, so that the Forstner bit and the handle are compatible hole to handle size. But I don't want to use a new piece of wood, because what I want to have happen is when this head shrinks up, it will tighten up on that handle. But if you use a fresh piece of wood, it will shrink up at the same time as the head does, so it won't tighten up. So my next three options are this old walking stick, which it's pretty lightweight. It's broken already. I don't know if it's going to be strong enough to do the job. It might, and it's a really nice straight handle. The next one is this stick I've been using for poking the fire. A couple of them actually. This one's probably a little newer. It's probably locust too. And then this older one that's been around for years. You can see up at the top it's split open, so it's good and dry. That's probably the best one I have, but compared to the size of the head, it's pretty hefty, so I don't know that I want to make that big of a hole in my head. And I may go back to this walking stick. The next thing I want to do is, when I pick the orientation, I kind of like to give a little bit of upturn to the inside, so the handle will come out in that direction, so it looks like they do in cartoons, right? So that the curve is inside curve to where the handle meets. And once I get that done, I put the handle in, I take it into the fire and give it a good roast job, so that it kind of finishes off the grain on the inside, hardens up that head just a little bit, and gets it ready to go, so it's not going to be chipping up quite so bad. Now this one, I've used it fairly heavily, so you can see it's starting to fray around the edges, which isn't particularly bad, but it's also not what I want. And this one's a little heavier, so it gets a little more hard use on it. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick this walking stick, pick the right handle length, cut it off, and this will be the wimpiest handle I've got so far, but we'll see how that works out. And then we'll have the third one done. It'll be ready to swing at things.